Dear students, now we are going to solve an important problem in digital filter design using impulse invariance method.
Design a Butterworth filter using the impulse invariance method for the given specification. The magnitude response of the filter is given in this problem, that is the magnitude value is greater than or equal to 0.8 and less than or equal to 1 when the frequency is between 0 and 0.2 pi. And the magnitude value is less than or equal to 0.2 when the frequency is between 0.6 pi to pi. In the solution part, first we have to draw the diagram of the magnitude response of the low pass filter. So from this diagram, we can come to know that 1 by square root of 1 plus epsilon squared is equal to 0.8, which is given in that problem. And then 1 divided by square root of 1 plus lambda squared is equal to 0.2. And here the passband frequency is equal to 0.2 pi and the stop band frequency is equal to 0.6 pi. Okay. So next we are going to write the given data as such. So omega p is equal to 0.2 pi, omega s is equal to 0.6 pi. Here this omega represents the digital frequency value. Okay. So next 1 divided by square root of 1 plus epsilon squared is equal to 0.8 and 1 divided by square root of 1 plus lambda squared is equal to 0.2. From this we have to calculate epsilon and lambda values. We have to square on both the sides, then this term becomes 1 divided by 1 plus epsilon squared is equal to 0.64. That is 0.8 squared is nothing but 0.64. Then we can cross multiply this value. 64 into 1 is 0.64 plus 0.64 into epsilon squared is equal to 1. And then move this 0.64 to this right hand side. So then we can get 1 minus 0.64 is nothing but 0.36. So next we have to move this 0.64 to this right hand side as a denominator since it is in multiplication here in the left hand side. So epsilon squared is equal to 0.36 divided by 0.64. That value is 0.5625. So next we have to find out epsilon by taking the square root on both the sides. So epsilon is equal to 0.75. The same way we can find out the value of this lambda here. So 1 divided by square root of 1 plus lambda squared is equal to 0.2. Square on both the sides, then we can get 1 divided by 1 plus lambda squared is equal to 0.04. And then cross multiply this value, we can get 0.04 plus 0.04 lambda squared is equal to 1. Then we can move this 0.04 to this right hand side and then subtract that value and move this 0.04 to this right hand side as a denominator. Then we can get lambda squared is equal to 24. Then we can obtain lambda by taking the square root on both the sides. So square root of 24 is nothing but 4.899. Then we have obtained the value of epsilon is equal to 0.75 and lambda is equal to 4.899. Now we are going to use the design steps of impulse invariance method to find the digital Butterworth filter. So for that, the first step is to find the transfer function of an analog Butterworth filter, that is HA of S. So we have already solved some problems in this analog Butterworth filter design in the previous lecture videos as a separate problem. But in this impulse invariance method, the first step is to find the transfer function of analog Butterworth filter. So here we are going to obtain the order of the Butterworth filter, that is n is greater than or equal to log of lambda by epsilon divided by log of omega s by omega p. So here this omega represents the analog filter. See, the relation between analog frequency and digital frequency is given here. So omega s is equal to, that is analog frequency is equal to the digital frequency divided by the time interval, that sampling interval. Here we have to assume the sampling interval is equal to 1 second. Okay, so if that sampling interval is not given in that problem, then we can assume that value as 1. Okay, so from this we come to know that analog frequency and digital frequency both are same. So we are going to substitute that value of omega s analog frequency, that is equal to omega s, that is equal to 0.6 pi. And here omega p is equal to 0.2 pi. In this numerator, lambda value, here it is epsilon value. Then simplify the values. We can get log of 6.532 divided by log 3. So that value is 0.815 divided by 0.477. Then we can get the order of the filter is greater than or equal to 1.709. Okay. Then we are going to round off this order value to the next higher integer. Here it is 1.709. So we can make it as a 2. Okay, so here it is a second order Butterworth filter. For this second order Butterworth filter, if omega c represents what? The cutoff frequency is equal to 1 means, okay, so if it is 1, the transfer function is given as 1 divided by s squared plus square root of s plus 1. Correct? This transfer function for each order has also been discussed in the previous lecture video. Okay. So here for this n is equal to 2, its transfer function is 1 divided by s squared plus square root of s plus 1. You have to remember this. Okay. Next, we are going to calculate the cutoff frequency. Here we have simply assumed that value as 1. But in the next step, we are going to find out the actual cutoff frequency for the given filter. Okay. For that, we can use the formula omega c is equal to omega p divided by epsilon the whole power 1 by n. So here we know the values of omega p, epsilon and n. Substitute all those values here. So 0.2 pi divided by 0.75 the whole power 1 by 2. So this value is 0.866. So the ratio of 0.2 pi divided by 0.866 is equal to 0.7255. Hence the cutoff frequency for the given analog Butterworth filter is 0.7255. Okay. After getting the actual cutoff frequency omega c is equal to 0.7255, transfer function can be obtained by replacing s by omega c in this h of s value. Okay, here omega c is 0.7255. So in that h of s we have obtained in the previous step, we are going to replace all the s terms by s by 0.7255. So here it is 1 divided by s divided by 0.2755 the whole square plus square root 2 of s divided by 0.7255 plus 1. Okay, then we can take the square values here. So here s square divided by 0.7255 square is nothing but 0.526 plus square root 2 divided by 0.7255 value is 1.949 and s is there plus 1. Then we can simplify this term. Finally, we can obtain the transfer function of an analog Butterworth filter is equal to 0.526 because here we have taken that LCM. So here it is 1 divided by s squared plus this 1.949 is multiplied with this 0.526. So we can get the value as 1.03 s plus 1 into this value is 0.53526, right? The whole divided by 0.526. Then this 526 goes to that numerator. Okay, that's what here. So HA of s is equal to 0.526 divided by s squared plus 1.03 s plus 0.526. Is that okay? So the first step of the impulse invariance method is done. Okay, so the second step in impulse invariance method is to get the sampling interval value. So here we have already assumed t is equal to 1 second. The third step of impulse invariance method is to express the analog transfer function as the sum of single pole filters. Here in this analog transfer function, the denominator represents the pole value. So here it is a s squared term. We are going to express this HA of s as the sum of single pole filters like this. That is HA of s is equal to summation k is equal to 1 to capital N Ck divided by s minus Pk. So here the Ck is nothing but the coefficient of this filter and Pk represents the pole. Okay. So here n value is 2. So we can write this expression as summation k is equal to 1 to 2 ck by s minus pk. That can be written as c1 divided by s minus p1 plus c2 divided by s minus p2. Okay, so this is the format. We are going to express this term like this. Okay. For that, we have to find out the root values for this denominator. So here it is s squared plus 1.03 s plus 0.526. We are going to find out the root values using this formula, that is s is equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. So here a value is equal to 1, here b value is equal to 1.03 and c value is 0.526. Substitute all those values in this formula, then we can get minus 1.03 plus or minus square root of 1.03 the whole square minus 4 into 1 into 0.526 divided by 2 into 1, that is 2. Then we can further simplify these terms. Finally, we can get minus 1.03 plus or minus square root of minus 1.0431. So square root of minus represents what? J. Okay, it is an imaginary part. So square root of minus represents j. So we can simplify this square root of minus 1.0431 as plus or minus j 1.02 divided by 2. Then we can divide these terms with this 2. We can get s is equal to minus 0.51 plus or minus j 0.51. So these values are nothing but the pole value. So we can say P1, that is the pole value, is equal to minus 0.51 minus j 0.51. And then the second pole value is minus 0.51 plus j 0.51. Then the transfer function HA of S can be written as 0.526 divided by S plus 0.51 plus j 0.51 multiplied with S plus 0.51 minus j 0.51. Next, we are going to express this transfer function as the sum of single pole filters using partial fraction method. So here we can write this expression as C1 by S plus 0.51 plus j 0.51 plus C2 divided by S plus 0.51 minus j 0.51. Okay. Then we can obtain the values of C1 and C2 and substitute those values in this expression to get the transfer function, that is HA of S. So first we are going to find out the C1 value. For that we can take the transfer function as such that multiplied with the denominator of this C1. So here it is the denominator value of this C1 with the condition S is equal to, just we can write that as minus 0.51 minus j 0.51. Make this value as 0. Okay, that is the condition over here. Then in the next step, these two terms divided each other. Then we can substitute this value here, that is 0.526 divided by this S becomes minus 0.51 minus j 0.51 plus these two values minus 0.51 and plus 0.51 cancel each other. Then we can add these two values, that is minus j 1.02. Correct? So 0.526 divided by 1.02 is equal to 0.516. As we know that minus 1 by j is equal to plus j. So this minus 1 by j becomes plus j here. Okay, so C1 is equal to 0.516j. Then we can obtain the C2 value by taking the conjugate of the C1. So that is equal to minus 0.516j. After getting the coefficient values, we have to substitute those values in this transfer function. So HA of S becomes 0.516j divided by S plus 0.51 plus j 0.51 minus 0.516j divided by this term. But in this format, it should be, the denominator should be S minus pk, correct? So here we have to change this term as S minus of minus 0.51 minus j 0.51. Here this term becomes s minus 0.51 plus j 0.51. Correct? So after that, the last step in this impulse invariant method is to find the transfer function of the digital Butterworth filter. So here the formula for this digital Butterworth filter h of z is equal to summation k is equal to 1 to n ck divided by 1 minus e power pk t into z power minus 1. So this is the formula to obtain the transfer function of the digital Butterworth filter. Okay, so here as we know that n value is 2. So we can write this expression as C1 divided by 1 minus e power P1 t z power minus 1 plus C2 divided by 1 minus e power P2 t into z power minus 1. As we know the values of P1, P2, T, C1 and C2, we are going to substitute all those values in this formula. Okay, then we can get C1 value is 0.516J and C2 value is minus 0.516J divided by 1 minus e power P1 value. What is the value of P1? Minus 0.51 minus J.51. So we can substitute those values here and T value is 1. So it is simply multiplied with 1. Okay, there is no change here. So similarly here it is P2 value is what? Minus 0.51 plus J 0.51. The exponential terms can be multiplied inside that is e power minus 0.51 into e power minus j 0.51. Here it is e power minus 0.51 into e power plus j 0.51. So here it is real term e power minus 0.51, its value is 0.6. Similarly here also its value is 0.6. So we have to keep this e power j value as such and simplify the expression. In the next step, we can take this 0.516j outside since it is a common in the numerator, and we can write 1 divided by 1 minus e power minus 0.51 value is 0.6, e power minus j 0.51 z power minus 1 minus 1 divided by 1 minus 0.6 e power plus j 0.51 into z power minus 1. Then we can simplify this term by taking the LCM here. So this term becomes, in the numerator, this one is multiplied with this term, this one is multiplied with this term. So 1 minus 0.6 e power plus j 0.51 into z power minus 1 minus of this term, right? So minus 1, then minus into minus plus 0.6 e power minus j 0.51 into z power minus 1. This denominator we are going to multiply these terms together. So in the numerator here it is plus 1, here it is minus 1, correct? And 0.6 is a common term here. So 0.6 z inverse is a common term, this too, correct? Then we can take it outside. So it is 0.6 z power minus 1 of, the remaining term is here it is minus e power j 0.51 plus e power minus j 0.51. Okay, the whole term divided by, multiply these two terms. Okay, so 1 into 1, 1. 1 into minus 0.6 e power j 0.51 z power minus 1. Then multiply these two terms. Okay, so here we can get minus 0.6 e power minus j 0.51 into z power minus 1 minus into minus plus 0.6 into 0.6, 0.36, and then multiply this two term, we can get e power j minus j 0.51 e power plus j 0.51, z power minus 1 into z power minus 1 is z power minus 2, correct? The powers can be added. So z power minus 2. For this exponential also we are going to add the power. So here minus j 0.51 plus j 0.51. So both cancel each other, means e power 0, this term becomes e power 0, it is equal to 1, correct? So in the next step, we can write that value as 0.516j of 0.6 z power minus 1. As we know that terms, that is e power j theta plus e power minus j theta is equal to 2 cos theta. E power j theta minus e power minus j theta is equal to 2j sine theta. Suppose we can have minus e power j theta plus e power minus j theta. Then that is minus 2j sine theta. Okay, so here this numerator can be written as minus 2j sine 0.51, and then the denominator, that one is there, these two terms. Okay, for these two terms 0.6 z power minus 1 is common. So we can take it outside. 0.6 of e power plus j 0.51 plus e power minus j 0.51 into z power minus 1 plus this term becomes 0.36 z power minus 2. Then we have to multiply this 0.516 with this 0.6. Then this term becomes j 0.3096 z power minus 1 into minus 2j. Sine 0.51 value is 0.488. Okay, sine of 0.51 value is 0.488. In the next step, we have to simplify this denominator like this. That is e power j theta plus e power minus j theta is equal to 2 cos theta. That is 2 cos 0.51. Okay. So in the next step, we have to multiply all the terms inside. So here it is j 0.3096 z power minus 1 multiplied with minus 2j 0.488. Multiply all the terms together, we can get minus j squared 0.3021 z power minus 1, the whole divided by 1 minus 0.6, 2 into cos 0.51 value is 0.873 z power minus 1 plus 0.36 z power minus 2. Okay, as we know that j squared value is equal to what? J squared is equal to minus 1, correct? So minus 1 into minus is plus. So this term becomes j squared is replaced with minus 1. So minus into minus plus 0.3021 z power minus 1 divided by 1 minus 0.6 into 2 into 0.873 is 1.0476 z power minus 1. Okay, plus 0.36 z power minus 2. So this is the final answer, that is the required transfer function of the digital Butterworth filter using impulse invariance method.